According to Assembly officials, the flattering stories of Zoomlion's achievements in waste management, as told by the media, is quite different from what pertains on the ground. For instance, last year, it was widely reported that Zoomlion had distributed 400 waste trucks and 5,000 tricycles to assemblies across the country at no cost to the government. JoyNews tour of the assemblies has revealed that no single truck was given to the assemblies. Zoomlion gave the trucks to its workers to help execute its numerous contracts in the districts. The trucks are used to carry out Zoomlion's contracts with the assemblies and the company's sanitation contracts with corporate bodies and individuals. It was also reported last year that Zoomlion would distribute 1 million free beans to Ghanaians in 2017. This was announced by the CEO of Zoomlion and chairman of the Jospong Group, Jospong Group, at the 10th anniversary celebration of Zoomlion.
We were the first company to distribute free beans to households, and currently we have distributed over 200,000. Our vision is to distribute 1 million free beans in the year 2017 to all households.
JoyNews has found this claim to be false or misleading. The free dustbins to be supplied in 2017 were not an act of generosity by Zoomlion. At the time Jospong was making this announcement, 5 of his companies had been handpicked by the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development for a contract to supply 1 million waste bins and 900,000 disposable bin liners. The 5 companies are Universal Plastic Products and Recycling Company Limited, Yeko Plastics Ghana Limited, JSA Logistics Limited, Able Plastics Recycling Limited, and Meridian Waste Management Limited. All the 5 companies belong to the Jospong Group owned by Jospong. 4 of the companies were to supply 1 million waste bins at a cost of $60 million, while the 5th, Meridian Waste Management Service, was to supply 900,000 bin liners at a cost of $14 million and $40,000. JoyNews investigation has revealed that the cost of the contract appears highly inflated. The cost of a 240-liter waste bin is 135 cedis from the leading producers of waste bins in Ghana, who are also suppliers of waste bins to the local government ministry. For the purpose of this investigation, however, we went for pro forma invoices from Universal Plastics, one of the Jospong companies which won the contract to supply the waste bins. The price of a 240-liter waste bin at this Jospong company is 150 cedis. The local government ministry had earlier awarded the waste bin contract and charged 15 cedis each for transportation, so we decided to make the cost of transportation for the Jospong contracts 20 cedis per waste bin. This puts the price per waste bin at 170 cedis or $39.5 using the prevailing exchange rate of 4.3 cedis to $1. The cost of the 1 million waste bins should therefore be $39.5 million, but the contract quoted $60 million, a difference of $20.5 million. Also, a piece of bin liner from the Jospong Group is sold at 0.98 cedis or 22 cents. 900,000 pieces of bin liners should be $206,686. In the contract, however, the company is to supply a piece of bin liner to the state at a cost of $15.6 a piece. This means a bin liner, which is less than 1 cedi at the Jospong Group, is sold to the state at 67 cedis. What would have cost the state $206,686 to procure is quoted as $14 million and $40,000. This appears to be an overcharge of $13.8 million. This means the cost of the $74 million contract to the Jospong Group may have been inflated by $34.4 million or 148 million Ghana cedis. This amount can sink a borehole each for 14,800 communities where access to potable drinking water still remains a remote dream. But the inflation of the contract sum is not the only anomaly with the waste bin contract with the Jospong Group. JoyNews investigation has discovered that the ministry did not need the waste bins at the time it awarded the contract. In our investigation across the country, we discovered that thousands of waste bins have been abandoned in the various assemblies to rot because the assemblies could not distribute them. At the old residency of the Upper West Regional Coordinating Council in Wa, waste bins left there for over 2 years were covered with weeds and left at the mercy of the weather. The Wa Municipal Assembly, which is a few meters away from here, has not been able to distribute some of its waste bins. There are hundreds of them left in the open at 2 separate locations, the residences of the Municipal Coordinating Director and the Municipal Finance Officer. The assemblies, especially the rural ones, say residents do not need the waste bins. They hardly generate waste and prefer smaller containers, which children would carry to the communal container size for dumping. In some assemblies, the households which took the waste bins used them to store water. George Arthur is the Wa Municipal Environmental Health Officer.
Whenever we go out on this our premises inspection, we see that some of them will pack them in the house and store in water. I was able to organize my environmental officer. We went to run all those people you are seeing all this, and we treat them back.
You're using it for water?
Yeah, they were using it for water.
Why?
Well, because first initially, when the dustbins came, I told the management that this one is like a drum. So we should label them and perforate them so that nobody can store in water. But they only labeled them and left the perforation.
In November 2014, the local government ministry awarded a contract to Qualiplast to supply 155,000 waste bins. The company supplied about 100,000 waste bins and was asked to hold on because there was no space to accommodate the rest. While the company was still waiting to supply, the ministry went ahead to award an inflated contract to the Jospong Group to supply 1 million bins. The Office of the President directed the local government ministry to award the contract. The Chief of Staff at the presidency at the time, Julius Debra, was the Minister of Local Government at the time the contract was awarded for the supply of the 155,000 bins. He also wrote a letter directing the Minister of Finance to make provision in the 2017 budget to finance the $74 million contract. Both Julius Debra and Collins Dowda have declined to comment. The Jospong Group has also declined to respond to our questions and requests for an interview. The company only released a press statement after excerpts of this report were aired, denying wrongdoing and threatening to sue if the multimedia group did not retract and apologize. The waste bin contract awarded to the Jospong Group in 2016 was inflated by 148 million cedis.